All right, so I did this problem once and I did it incorrectly, so I have to do this problem again because I messed up. So let's find this. So we're going to find the volume of this figure. To do this, I'm going to find the volume of two things. First, I'm going to find the volume of this cylinder. Okay, volume of the cylinder. Volume of a cylinder is the area of the base times the height. Since the base is a circle, sometimes we write the volume of a cylinder as pi r squared. That's the area of the base, since it's a circle, times the height of the cylinder. That's how tall that cylinder is. So we're going to find the area or the volume of this cylinder. After I find the volume of this cylinder, I'm going to add to it the volume of this cone. Volume of a cone is 1/3 area of the base times the height. And the volume of a cone, similar thing, since the base of the cone is also a circle, we can write it as pi r squared h, so 1/3 pi r squared h. And so that's how we're going to do. We're going to find the volume of the cylinder, volume of the cone, add these two numbers together. So let's start off with the cylinder. Pi, the radius of the cylinder would be 4. You can also see it right here, 4. That's the radius of the cylinder, so 4 squared. Pi times 4 squared. Height of the cylinder, I just scrolled right out of it. Height of the cylinder is the distance between the two bases. It's 40. So we got 40. So the volume of the cylinder is, and I'm not going to multiply the pi in. Let's just do the 4 squared times the 40. 4 squared is 16. 16 times 40 is 640. So the volume of the cylinder is 640 times pi. I'll do that times pi in just a minute. I'm just going to hold off because I don't want to write out a big decimal. I'll leave it right there for just a minute. Now let's go to do this one. Pi r squared h. Okay, so let's see here. So the cone, 1/3 times pi times the radius of the cone is 4 squared. The height of the cone, I don't know. So I need to find the height of the cone. So let's take this triangle that I see inside of this cone right here, and I'm going to draw it over here for a second. So we've got a triangle that looks like this. We got a 4, we got a 5, and we have an unknown. Okay, so I need to find that unknown because it's the height of the cone, right? I need to find that. So I need to do the Pythagorean theorem to find that. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. The c is always the hypotenuse that's opposite the right angle, so the c squared is the 5. So the c is the 5, and it's squared. The a and the b are the two legs of the right triangle, the x and the 4. It doesn't matter the order. I'm going to put the x and the 4. 4 squared is 16, so I have x squared plus 16 equals 5 squared, which is 25. If I subtract 16 from both sides of this equation, I'm left with x squared equals 25 minus 16 is 9. The square root of x squared, square root of 9, x equals 3. Let me just draw a line right here so we don't get these two things confused. So this is all about finding this right here, which was this right here, which is the height of the cone. So I can now write it right there, 3. Ooh, that was a lot just to find a 3. Okay, so 1/3 times pi times 4 squared times 3. We multiply these together. Now I'm just going to do the 1/3 times the 4 squared times the 3. If I just multiply those together and leave the pi as a pi for a minute, I get 16 pi. Now the reason why I left these as pi is actually for this moment right now, because now I can add these two together. 640 plus the 16 is 656 pi. Now I can plug that in my calculator. It's a lot easier to plug this in instead of doing a whole bunch of other things. So all I have to do is the 656 times pi, and I get 2060.88. 2060.88, so it'd be 0.9 when I round it off. And the units weren't given in this, so I'd have to just say units cubed would be the volume of this combined shape. 2060.9 units cubed. If you have any questions, please ask me. This was a challenging question. Let me know if you're stuck, and I will be more than happy to help you out. Hope that you do good on this test.